'cause someone wears a ball-pointed star on their chest. Don't put them on the right side of the law.
The Gunstringer is one mean-spirited puppet. This undead cowboy craves revenge in the worst way and remorselessly slays both those who wronged him and others who just happen to be in the way. Sound grim? It isn't. The gritty narrator describing your actions spits out each ponderous statement with tongue planted firmly in cheek. And the cartoonish facade gives a comedic glow to your murderous exploits. As important as these elements are in injecting levity in the six-shooter adventure, it's the joyous motion controls provided by the Kinect that transform this seemingly simple game into one that grabs your attention and doesn't let go. The Gunstringer is an overwhelming success that continually delights and entertains even after the ridiculous credits have rolled.
The Gunstringer felt jubilation at the thought of his old posse sitting on ice at Formaldehyde Smith's funeral home.
When familiarizing yourself with the Gunstringer's controls, it helps if you can think like a 6-year-old child. In this force-scrolling shoot-'em-up, your skeletal protagonist automatically sprints through a variety of Western-themed locales, and you just have to worry about gunning down foes while avoiding their attacks. Shooting couldn't be easier. Pin up to 6 enemies at a time by sweeping your right hand across the screen, and then snap your wrist to pepper them with bullets. It sometimes takes 2 or 3 arm shakes to get your gun working, but it's ultimately a small problem because there's little punishment for being a second late. Imagine your left hand is holding the crossbars of a marionette. Pull up to jump, swing to the side to dodge, and marvel at how every action works just like it should. The controls in the Gunstringer feel fantastic and set a great foundation for this goofy adventure. For the majority of the game, you run through streets lined with cardboard constructions that resemble cacti, saloons, and all manner of Old West props. Enemies leap from buildings and onto the road in front of you, and you gun them down without ever breaking your stride. There isn't quite as much dynamism in the enemy placement as you would find in the best games in the genre, but it's still a joy to gun everyone down with a gunslinger's relish.
The blast surged through.
At other times, you put your gun away for a spell and focus on jumping. Pulling your hand up to jump translates wonderfully to your on-screen actions.
Ever get that feeling there's a joker in the deal somewhere?
But these portions veer too far on the easy side, so it's hard to stay invested. But you get right back into things a minute later when you whip your gun back out.
The riot of brilliant colors.
There are other gameplay diversions along the way, including a few surprising and memorable boss encounters. But the Gunstringer doesn't rely on variety to propel you forward. You experience most of the different action sequences within the first few levels, and after that it's just variations on the same themes. This could be seen as a detriment to your long-term enjoyment, but the Gunstringer's emphasis on ensuring that most of what you do is fun propels it beyond any potential stumbles it could have encountered. Presentation also goes a long way toward pushing you forward. A surly narrator tells a story while you're playing, and this adds a lot to the experience.
Many a time had the Lady of the Dead tried to decapitate him after a lover's quarrel. It's what kept their relationship fresh and exciting for a time.
Although his words don't always match up with your actions, he delivers his pronouncements in a terrifically deadpan manner that makes them incredibly funny.
Sheriff came cheap and died young.
There's also full motion video footage of people watching your exploits that is knee-slappingly goofy. Actors were brought into a theater and react to what you're doing in hilariously exaggerated displays of emotion. When you wrap up the adventure, there are enough unlockables to keep you coming back for another run-through or 4. Behind-the-scenes footage and unreleased concept art are fairly typical, but the wavy Tube-Man Chronicles is anything but. This free DLC is an FMV parody of Mad Dog McCree, and it's utterly ridiculous in all the right ways.
Stranger, you no good for concern you. a commotion in here. I got you now. Yow!
Throw in a 2-player cooperative mode in which the second player can jump into the main adventure at any time, and you have a full-featured game that is bursting with entertainment.
Where he walked, death walked with him.
The Gunstringer may be most notable for showing off just what the Kinect is capable of, but it's the exciting action and hilarious presentation you'll remember.
The Gunstringer was wounded, but would survive.